As we continue our stewardship series focused on our money story, our scripture lessons today invite us into the theme of release, to take notice of where God's money story releases us, invites us into something different. In our Old Testament reading this morning, we hear about God's vision of how we'll live together, released from debt, free to live in community together. Our gospel reading tells us of another kind of release. Jesus' conversation with the rich man invites a release from our anxieties and our attachments to money. Invites us to trust God, to trust that God will provide, and in that trust, releasing us from our grief and our guilt and our fear around money, freeing us to see our neighbors and to serve them with all that God has given us. So because we are exploring the theme of our money story, over the next few weeks, we are going to have the opportunity to hear from a few people about their own money stories, about their relationship to God and to others and to stewardship. So this week, I got to sit down with June Spilker and hear about her money story and the ways that her money story intersects with God's money story. Let's take a listen together.
I was in an apartment by myself at age 30, and my dad left my mom after many years of marriage, and so I moved back in with her. And at that time, I thought I did have a lot of money saved up, which was just over $1,000. By no means it was a super lot, but it was, to me at that time it was. But I knew with moving back in with my mom and helping her out with paying all of her bills for the utilities and the food and whatever, I just had to go ahead and be there to help her, because she was always there to help me during my young adulthood with situations. And I saw that money going down and down and down. And I just remember praying to God, I know you will take care of us, but I'm just going to go ahead and give whatever money I have, and to help her out. And then all of a sudden, about 4 months later or so, I started seeing different chunks of money coming into me from different logical scenarios, which was, of course, my income tax money. I was getting a rebate back from the car insurance because they didn't have a lot of claims that were submitted by people. I was getting money back from my medical, what they call major medical plan with the insurance. And I know there was a fourth one, but all of a sudden, like within a 30-day time frame, all of a sudden, I was getting money that was coming back to me. And, definitely then, I felt like God was knocking me on my head and saying, see, I told you I was going to take care of you.
Yeah.
That definitely had a big impact on me.
Both of our readings for today are about a release of some kind. In our gospel reading especially, Jesus offers this young man a release from the power that his possessions have over him.
Again, most of the story to me focuses on the gifts from my story, the gifts that are inside of us that we can be willing to share with others. And like I said, not just sit alone by ourselves in our house.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, by giving of myself, I felt like I was sharing the true love of God and touching other people's lives. And then by doing that, it helped release me from the shame and anxiety and the guilt. Of course, there's been other money situations, throughout my lifetime. But, of course, this situation with Bill was one of the biggest, I guess, possibly, and a big impact on me, because at the age that I am, I thought I was going to be set financially for the rest of my life, like when I retired, or if I had any long-term medical issues ready to go into a nursing home, that I had a lot of money there, But again, God has an interesting way of talking to us, and by being a fairly new member of Living Christ, so many different people would approach me and have conversations with me about different things that lifted me up out of that very, very dark, deep hole. And, it was like, I guess 2 years later was when Pastor Paul asked me, if Trudy can't be there to play the piano, can you play the piano for me at the nursing home? And I said yes. And he then asked me, would you still mind coming and just singing, because some of the people are getting older, they can't sing as much, as it was an honor to be able to do that. So
yeah, and just to make some connections between what you shared back to our text, I think this invitation of release that Jesus is offering, he's telling this man, give up your lack of trust, give up the ways you think, money can keep you safe and secure. And in giving those things up, not only are you released from those fears and anxieties, but you're also released to care for your neighbors in other ways too. In giving up, our anxiety about money, I think we're better able to recognize our own gifts and other resources that we have to share, and also better able to see the needs of our neighbors around us. So we can see, as you shared, where our gifts for music can be of support and encouragement for others, or if we have time to share, that we can use that at the food bank or other ways to make sure that people who are hungry are fed.
I have two things that I could share that apply to that, and one is a poem that I learned in my college years. It says, stand tall, reach high, you personify the image of God above, be glad you are you, lay claim to your due of glorious life and love. Now that one has gotten me through many, many situations. Just how you were saying, giving of yourself to others, and it's God's family. Even though they're not in our specific church building, anybody that we encounter, they are a child of God.
Yeah.
And you have your own way to go ahead and share God's love.
Coming back to our theme of release, was there anything else you wanted to share?
There's a song that I have learned. It kind of sums it up in a nutshell. Glory and praise to our God, who alone gives light to our day. Many are the blessings he gives to those who trust in his ways. So basically, just remembering, to pray for guidance and trust in him, and he will go ahead and bring to the forefront the many blessings that you have inside of you, which includes, your ability to make money, and then, of course, share sharing that with others.
Yeah, well, thanks. That's a beautiful song, and a beautiful reminder. Yeah, I think about what this teaching from Jesus is all about. That when we trust God, we can let go of some of our own anxieties, and we can see the ways that God continues to provide for us always. Thanks so much, June, for being willing to do this. This was a delightful conversation, so I'm glad I got to share this time with you today.
Great, great.